Hello, and welcome to this evening time. About to be evening time, I guess, still afternoon, technically in Central Daylight Time. This is a taste challenge. We have two bourbon whiskeys, and I'll show you what they are. This is Old Charter, introduced in 1874. This is one of the old American bourbon whiskeys, the old line. This is one of the old guard. Hello, Max Walt from the Russian Federation. Shouldn't you be asleep? Well, you might be already be awake, right? Might be morning time for him on the other side of the world. But Old Charter, introduced 1874. This is the old number 8 version, 80 proof, no age statement, Kentucky bourbon whiskey from Buffalo Trace. Put the link below. Yeah, over the years it changed. They used to have an 86 proof. There may have been a 90 proof. There was definitely an 86 proof. There was a 10-year age. There was an 8-year age. There was a 7-year age. So right now, there's the Old Charter, but there's specialty editions. You can look up oldcharteroak.com. I believe that's the website. And there's Old Charter Mongolian Oak, Old Charter French Oak. There's 2 other oak specialties where they're aged in different oaks, and they're coming out pretty soon with state by state editions. No joke. I was looking at the websites. They say, stay tuned, it's coming soon, state editions. Probably be Kentucky and Louisiana first, since their big distillery is in Kentucky, but yet Sazerac, their headquarters and their little distillery is in Louisiana, so probably a Louisiana oak. So that's going to be interesting. Now, here's the competitor, Kings County. I'm trying to get it to focus. Kings County Peated Bourbon whiskey. 45% alcohol, 90 proof. Introduced in 2010. This is distilled and aged and bottled in New York City by Kings County Distilling. My friend David gave this to me one year for a Christmas present. He said, well, that's all I could give you this year. That's all I could afford. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's like a $40 bottle. And, I was glad. I was like a great present, Looks like a nice color in the Kings. It is. It's dark and it's nice, huh? How's the weather? It's kind of like in between warm and cool, Maxwell. Like I was thinking about shutting the window because it's a little chilly with the breeze coming in, but I'm able to hold out right now. Yeah, so it's like humidity's medium, moderate, and it's kind of cool, kind of warm right at this point. All right. Got my tasting glasses. So how is a new age bourbon going to compare with an old school bourbon? Well, I think the new age is going to win. It better win. It's $40 if you're lucky. Old Charter, I got this for $8. It was half price at Walmart. It was normally $16, but they sold it for $8 on a closeout because they wanted to go to only the big glass bottles, the big ones, which they charge too much at Walmart. Go to Total Wine, you can get a big handle for $29.99 instead of $40.99. That ain't no deal. All right. You can hear how tight it is. Cork. It's that press board cork, but it's still cork. It's a little pieces of cork pressed together with some adhesive resin, I guess. Okay, so there's a little booklet on the side about Kings County Distillery in Brooklyn, New York City, New York, Brooklyn. Oh, good, I got it even. Need a little bit more. It's got this old timey medicine bottle shape, like an old medicine bottle, just like MD Mogan David 2020 is in those medicine bottles. In St. Peter's Brewery in England, it's the medicine bottles. It's kind of cool. All right. Age 2 years. So Old Charter, we don't know the age. They don't give an age statement, but we know it's at least 4 years. It's aged at least 4 years. Kings County Peated Bourbon is aged 2 years. Now they're using smoked peated barley malt from Scotland, like you would see in an Islay Scotch whiskey, Islay single malt. You hear what I'm saying? They're using barley malt from Scotland that's peated, and they're distilling it in Brooklyn according to the bourbon method. You can import the grain. That doesn't matter. It has to be, but to be bourbon, it has to be distilled, aged, and bottled in the United States. All right. But they're not claiming that it's straight bourbon. It doesn't say straight bourbon. It just says bourbon. Hey, I didn't make the product. Now the Old Charter is straight bourbon. Now, what's the difference? Well, straight bourbon has to be aged at least 2 years in new charred oak barrels, and it has to be 51% corn. Now, we know that the Kings County is aged 2 years or more. It's aged in new barrels, new oak barrels, never before used. Charred, has to be charred oak to be bourbon. If you didn't char the oak, you could still sell it, but it would be corn. They would have to call it corn whiskey. So I don't know why it's not called straight bourbon. You ask me, I don't know the answer. They're not claiming that it's a bourbon with natural flavors. They're not saying with natural flavors added, in which case it would be technically a distilled spirit specialty, which is a catch-all for anything. You can make anything if you market it or you register it as a distilled spirit specialty. Because I've got two bourbons. I've got two bourbons in the other room that are they are bourbons with natural flavors added. Bourbons with natural flavors added. Not sure what happened to my package. It's still saying arriving late, says Hector. I'm sorry, Hector. That's why I tell people don't send me any beer because it's a big hassle and it's a big expense. And now you're experiencing it. Dr. Dave went to the same thing. He sent me all these beers. It was like a week late. It's a hassle, man. I'm telling you. It's okay. I didn't need tags. I got tags at the bottom. You can see. But I didn't need tags because one is so dark, amber. That's copper, right? Copper. And that's just gold. Copper and gold. Copper and gold. Now I got to close my eyes. So if you watch the video and you say it's strange to watch you do a video with your eyes closed, I'm sorry. If I look down and see the darker shade, I'm going to know what it is. So it won't be a challenge. Cheers, having King Cobra, but I'm starting to get a metallic taste to it. Yeah, King Cobra has declined. I'm sorry. It used to be really good. I find it's going down. I think they cheapened it. I learned on Super Bowl Sunday that ciders are classified as wine. That's right, wine. Never knew that. Always learning new things on this channel. Yeah, I didn't know it either. I'm always learning new things on this channel. I was saying to myself, what is a cider? I know it's basically apple juice with alcohol. It's a fermented apple juice. Okay, hard apple juice. That because that's why it tastes like apple juice. But beyond that, is it a beer? Is it a wine? Is it a liquor? Well, it's not a liquor. It's only 5% alcohol usually. So I was looking at the Tax and Trade Bureau website, the United States government's liquor website, Tax and Trade Bureau. And they said it is a wine. What did they say? They said it like cider is generally a wine and is specifically a wine. In other words, it's a wine. Okay, it's a wine. It's not a beer. It's an apple wine. But they call it, for marketing purposes, hard cider. Okay, fine. But that's what it is. Doesn't really taste like wine, you know. But in a legal sense, that's what it is. It's probably not really a wine, but they don't have a classification for cider. They have 3 classifications: beer, wine, and liquor. So they put it under the wine category. It's like sake. People say it's rice wine. Well, the United States government says no, it's not. It's beer. Well, they say, well, we're gonna. What did they say on the website? We're just gonna put it under the beer category. They put it under the beer category, even though it's not really a beer. But they put it under the beer category. It does taste like beer, but I've had sake a number of times. To me, it tastes like Budweiser, but it's 17%. So it's gonna bud your wiser, you know. Yeah. Okay. I can tell you which is which already without tasting it. This is the Kings County because it's got a much bolder flavor. I'm sorry, aroma. It's 45% alcohol. This one is 40. The other one is kind of a bland aroma. That's just like faint corn and faint charred oak and faint this and faint that. It doesn't have a lot of strength to it. So I'm going to say this is Kings County. When I open my eyes, I'll know. Oh, I'm shocked. It's actually the Old Charter on the nose. Wow, what do you know? The Old Charter had a stronger aroma. That's a new one. Just goes to show you think you know, but you might know, but then you may never know. Uh, 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 what's a sake? A wine? No, it's beer, according to U.S. government. Great drink color. Aroma is great. Okay, well, so here we have a little bit of a hiccup. The Old Charter had a better aroma, which to me is a shock. Maybe the aging, it's got at least 2 years. It's at least 2 years older than the Kings County, so that could have given it an advantage. It rested at least 2 more years, maybe longer. Probably it's probably older than 4 years. It's probably more like 6, but we don't know that. But I'm thinking from tasting it. All right, let's go with the taste. I should have waited to taste it, but I was so confident. If you want to say I was overconfident, yeah, I'll go along with that. Yeah. Corn, charred oak, candy corn, sugar water, honeysuckle nectar, and maybe that fruitcake fruit that you get like that in the Mylar, the dehydrated fruitcake fruit in the Mylar bag. So a type of plastic, that crinkly plastic. Mm. Is Old Charter a great bourbon? I mean, they don't make any claims to that. They just talk about it's nice. It's been around 149 years. I mean, if you like bourbon, you probably like it. I don't see what the complaint would be, except if you said it was a little dull on the flavor. Okay, yeah, I guess that could be a complaint. Any nasty flavors, harsh flavors, off-putting flavors? Nah, nah, no way. You could say it has a lack of flavor, I guess, to an extent. Okay, I won't argue with that. You can see the light coming in from outside, you know, but it's still bright out there, you know, with this fake time. It's really only after 5, but they're saying it's 6 something. Daylight, gaslight time. All right. Oh, well, I got this wrong in a technical sense. In a technical sense, because I smelled them and the old charter had a more bountiful aroma. Okay. But in the flavor, impossible. I can tell you now, there's no way. There is no way I would have got these confused. Uh Say what you want to say, you can believe what you want, but there's no way. There is no way on earth you're going to confuse old charter with Kings County peated. Now let me tell you what the peated tastes like. Oh, now that smoke's coming in. AMC Stonk says, cheers. About to go get a 32-ounce natural ice. Good choice. Brown bottle. Cork bottle. They might make cork cans. I don't believe so. Little smoke in the nose. Not too much, though. But in the taste, and that's where the rubber hits the road, in the flavor, you get smoke, peat. Now, what does peat taste like? Well, it tastes sort of like a compost pile, like rotted organic matter. Take that how you will. Medium body, medium long finish. Do you get a lot of corn? Well, I think the corn is overridden by the peatiness. Could a person drink this and think they're drinking scotch? Very possibly. Very possibly. If you gave it to them blind and you said, try this, what do you think it is? They might think it's a scotch. Have I ever tasted a bourbon that tasted like that? No way on earth did I ever taste a bourbon that tasted like that. And I probably never will again. Like they're saying on the website, it's a hybrid, really. It's not bourbon in a true sense like you would think of bourbon. Technically, it's a bourbon, follows all the bourbon guidelines. So in a technical legal sense, it's a bourbon. In a real world sense, it's a Scotch style bourbon. Okay, doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what it is. But it could make sense, because if you have a blended Scotch, say whatever, Jean Pierre was drinking, Jean H. Pierre was drinking the House of Stewart Scotch. That's probably going to be 80% corn whiskey, grain whiskey, probably corn, or they might say in Scotland, maize. 20% single malt. Well, it's probably not going to be as smoky as this, but this might be 80% corn whiskey, and it might only be 20% peated malt. But you get that effect. You get that effect. So yeah, there is a lot of crossover, in fact. Are you going to put out a review for Jose Cuervo Gold, says Hector? Yes, in fact, I am. And I can show you the bottle if you want to see it, but I guess everybody's seen a bottle of Jose Cuervo. I have the big bottle. It was a much cheaper product per ounce. I would have been a fool to buy Jose Cuervo in the regular bottle when I could get the handle for so less per ounce. I was saving so much money per ounce. So I was like, I'm buying the big bottle. And I did buy the big bottle. I've already done the Jose Cuervo Especial, the silver tequila, mixed toad tequila, which is very nice, I might add. And I'm going to do the gold. Haven't reviewed it yet. Never tried it in my life, which I'm sure is going to be nice. Been on the market since 1795. Thank you very much. 1795. And then I've got the Jose Cuervo Tradicional Silver, the 100% agave. And I got the Jose Cuervo Tradicional Gold, 100% agave. And those were introduced in 1977. I didn't know 1800 tequila was owned by Jose Cuervo. I didn't know that either. But Jose Cuervo started 1800 tequila in the 1970s, like around 1977, late 70s. I just think they wanted to get more into like what we would call in the beer world craft beer type things, and more. You can't say authentic because mixto tequila is authentic. It's a type of tequila, the most popular type, actually. But I just think they wanted to make more. Let's say the word specialty tequilas. So they came out with the 1800 line, and I was shocked because I asked a woman at work. I said, "What kind of tequila you like to drink?" I said, "You like Jose Cuervo?" And she said, "It's okay." I said, "What do you think? What do you drink?" She said, 1800. Does she know it's made by Cuervo? I seriously doubt that. She probably thinks it's a separate company, but it's not. Have I ever had 1800? No, I haven't. Would I try it? I certainly would. But if you saw my back stock of tequila, if you saw my tequila back stock, you would be telling me, "Don't buy any more. Don't buy any more. You got enough. You got enough rum. You got enough tequila." And I would say, "You're right. You're right. I have enough." Old Charter is all right. I mean, it's okay. It has a lot going for it in the sense that it's pleasant. It's nice. So if you just want a regular old, pleasant, easygoing bourbon that's not too expensive, you can get for less than $20. Well, by golly, get the Old Charter, and I don't think you're going to go wrong. I don't think you're going to go wrong. And I've been pleased with it. I'm not overwhelmed by it, but I'm pleased with it. I'd buy it. I'd buy it before I bought Jack Daniels. Why is that? Because it's $8 cheaper, and it doesn't taste a bit worse. Um, but now you say no, 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 no. I want bourbon that's got a real character. I want something really interesting. I don't want the regular old bourbon. I'm sick of that. I want something exciting and new. And I just want to live a little. I want to try something that's got character, savoir faire, and qualities that you don't normally taste. Okay, well there you go with the New York City's oldest whiskey distillery, Kings County. Then you've got it because this has got a lot of character. It's going to cost you now. You're not going to get it for no $16. In fact, you'd probably be lucky if you found it for 40. It's probably going to cost more than $40. My friend David got a deal. He got it on sale. He told me, "Oh, I got it on sale." I said, "Well, don't feel bad." Like he was trying to apologize, like he got a deal. I said, "Well, I do the same thing. I mean, if it's $55, you got it for 38. Buy it, because I wouldn't have bought it to start with. So, because I've just got so many lower level, lower tier products I want to get through. So it was a great gift. But yeah, if you're the kind of person that wants to try and step out a little bit, Kings County would be a really good plank to step on. You're gonna like it, and I got a pretty good amount left. I got enough for what, 7 taste challenges? I think probably get 7. I think I can probably get 7 more taste challenges out of this. This is a real winner. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If you want to, you say, I'm going for broke this week, and I'm paying $50. Go look for the. Go look for the Kings County. So, is there a winner or a loser here? Um, I mean, you could say that Kings County is a winner. but the price differential is so wide. It's like, oh yeah, I bought Kings County, you bought Old Charter. Well, I mean, it's so wide. How can it be a winner or a loser? Because they're so detached from one another. So we'll just call it a draw. We'll call it pick 'em. You pick what you want. Like you do the trade off. You do the trade offs. You evaluate the good and the bad, and you do the trade offs, and you can decide which one you want. And my answer, I'd like both, but I mean, so you have to think about it. If you ever go to Jalisco, they have nice tours in Tequila, Mexico. I would like to go, and I haven't gone to Mexico in years. What was it, 5 years ago? I went to Ojinaga, and the border guards were quizzing me like, "Why do you want to go here?" I said, "Because I'm on a tour. I'm a tourist. I want to go look at the town. What are you talking about?" I said, "I'm a tourist. You cross the border, you go look at stuff." And the border guard was like, "Well, no one goes here." I said, "Well, I'm here." And then he was like, "Did you take our photos?" I said, "Man, I didn't take your photos. I just want to go look at the town, okay?" And he was like, "Okay, you can go, but there's nothing to see." I said, "Okay." This is in Chihuahua, Mexico. So I crossed and I was walking around. I was like, "Well, there's some things to see. It's not nothing." But it was big. I mean, it was like spread out. It wasn't a big town, Ojinaga, and it's very remote. Most people don't never heard of it. But I was walking around. It was peaceful. I made a little video. It's still posted on my channel, Ojinaga, Mexico. And you hear a little girl call out, "Senor!" But I mean, it was hot in the middle of the desert, out in the desert. Oh man, it was hot. But all the ground was like gravel, like little, like it wasn't sand. It was like little fine gravel. So, but I wanted to go more to the city center and look at the stores and all, but it was too far away. I just walked around to some of the houses and all, and I came back. And then they were quizzing me when I came back. They were like, "What did you do over there?" I said, "I just walked around." I said, "It wasn't too much to see, but it was nice. I mean, it was fine. Did you buy drugs there?" They were asking me, "Did you buy drugs? Do you have weapons?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I told the American border guards, I said, "What are you talking about?" They said, "Can we look in your bags?" I said, "Yeah, it's nothing to see." I said, "Look in the bags." Of course, there was nothing to see because I didn't really have any bags. I just had one little thing. So I left, but it was interesting. And I was like, haha, I got to see it. And you couldn't stop me. But I would have liked to see some interesting things. But, I want to go back to Mexico. I want to go back to Mexico. It takes me like 10 hours to drive there, though. 10 hours. If I leave at 5 in the morning, I get there for 3 in the afternoon. But you can do a lot between 3 and 9 in the evening, right? All right. Well, that's it. I want to go to Alaska though, man, because I've never been to Alaska. I've been to 48 states. I've been to 48 states in my life, but I've never been to Alaska or Hawaii. I want to go there. This lady I talked to, well, I've been talking to her for 26 years, but she was telling me yesterday, she said, "You gonna drive to Alaska?" I said, "I don't know if I'm gonna drive." She said, "I got to get a passport." Meaning, if she went with me on the trip, she would have to get a passport. I said, "You can get a passport. They're not hard to get." But that's not going to happen. If I go to Alaska, I know I'm going to go alone. Ain't nobody going with me. They're just talking, It's just talk. But I'm going to try to figure out how to go. All right. Well, anyway, so the winner, The winner is whatever you want to evaluate it as. Like I said, it's kind of a controversy in that sense. All right. Do I have some more bourbons to go up against Old Charter? I certainly do. I certainly do. Most of it will be kind of humdrum. So if you want to watch a bunch of boring videos, check in. But I have some interesting ones. Yeah, I mean, I got some interesting ones. And then we'll be on to blended whiskey. I did the Iron Wheel last night. Well, I did a bunch of beer reviews. So if you say, oh, you're having trouble saying the letter S, like instead of saying it seems like, I might said something like, well, it seemed like, well, I was doing a bunch of beer reviews, but give me a break. But Iron Wheel, you'll see it. Joe Cobb says, evening, Ron. Lovely sunset here in Sanford, Nova Scotia. Oh, I went to Nova Scotia one time. I took a ferry from Prince Edward Island to Nova Scotia. And then we drove across Nova Scotia and we went to Truro, it's a town called Truro, Trouro, Truro. We ate at a seafood restaurant. Then we drove back to New Brunswick. There's a lot of trees in Nova Scotia, full of trees, forests everywhere. It was amazing. I liked it. I'd like to go back. All right. Well, anyway, y'all take care. And we'll be on to you're visiting your parents here. I'm very close to Truro. You likely went to the Yarmouth Ferry. Tuscot MV, wrong place. Tuscot MV. I don't know what that is. But we went to Truro. We went to a seafood restaurant. But yeah, it was a ferry from the eastern edge of Prince Edward Island to Truro. What was the name of that town? Picton? Picton, Picton. Something like that. You drive to the woods on the highway. Wrong place, my bad. MB is my bad. Oh, MB, my bad. Okay. All right, Tuscot. All right, so yeah, I went to I went to Nova Scotia. I never went to Halifax. We went to Charlottetown. In Prince Edward Island, and we went on a tour of their Capitol building, which was very small, in Louisiana it would be like a city, a town hall, a town government building. But we went there, and the guy was like so excited that people wanted to go on the tour, and he was saying, "Oh, do you know?" He said, "Look at this silverware." He was telling us, "Look at this silverware. Look at this silverware." He said, "Do you know that Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip bought this silverware and gave it to us?" And he was so excited. He said, the whole table is full of silverware. And I don't know what year, 1965 or something. They gave it to him. Oh, small Capitol building, sounds like Canada. Lots of pride, though. Yeah, he was like, and then they were saying, see this chair? It was like a wooden chair, just like a wooden chair with four legs and a purple seating area. Purple cushion, purple backing. And he said, he said, there's only one person in this world who can sit on this chair. It was behind like a railing or like what do you call those barriers? Temporary. They put up like felt. He said, there's only one person on earth who is allowed to sit on this chair. Do you know who that person is? I said, I guess Queen Elizabeth. He said, that's right. Only Queen Elizabeth can sit on this chair. He was like so emotional. I was like, oh man. It was purple felt. Yeah, purple felt. And I said, oh, okay. And my grandmother was looking like, there's a chair for that. So it was an interesting tour. And then the man was saying, do you know in this city which to me was more like a town. To me, it was a town than a city. I never seen a city that looked so small, you know. But he says, this is where Canada was formed. We had a meeting, and he was showing me these paintings. He said they had a meeting here in 1864, and they decided to form Canada as a country. I said, it was right here in this town, huh? Yes. This is where the conference occurred. And I was like, oh. But I said, well, they're into it, you know. I guess they would have to honor William now, but I doubt he will ever visit Nova Scotia. Pretty cool Elizabeth did. Well, he might visit, but this was in Prince Edward Island. But you know, Prince Edward Island is so isolated. I guess they were so excited that it would be like part of that culture, you know. And then he was telling me about the flag. Oh yeah, they tell me about the flag. We bought a flag. We bought a Prince Edward Island flag. It was at my grandma's house. Probably still over there. He was like, do you know what this flag means? I said, no, I don't really. And it was a big oak tree, and they had 3 little oak trees. I said, well, that's a very nice flag. And he said, the big oak tree is England, the mother country. And the flag means under this tree, you will always be protected. And the 3 oak trees were the 3 counties of Prince Edward Island. It's so small, it has 3 counties, west, central, and east. He said, under this tree, the oak tree, the 3 little trees will be protected. I said, well, that's pretty interesting. So we went around the town, and it was something to see, you know. They say the city, but I'd say the town, you know. My town is probably the same size as theirs. All right. I guess they would have to honor William now, but I doubt he will ever visit Nova Scotia. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yes, Prince Edward Island has a bit more tourism. Oh, yeah. They were just talking about Anne of Green Gables, this novel that I never read the novel, but my grandmother did. And she was like, oh, she was like going crazy over this novel, you know, Anne of Green Gables. I say, well, we can't do everything. Claude Diamond says, State Department in California has strong warnings about staying away from Mexico regions right now. I know, I haven't been in about 5 years, but I say I'd like to go. But people say it's dangerous, you know. David Simmons says, Nova Scotia is where all those Tom Selleck, Jesse Stone movies were filmed. I love dark, gloomy climates. Well, I'll tell you one thing about Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick. They love drinking coffee. They drinking coffee all day long. They're drinking coffee. And I drank the coffee, and it was so good. And they all smoke cigarettes. I said, everybody in Canada smokes cigarettes. They're all smoking. I was in Toronto taking a nap on the lakefront, you know, like, and these 2 girls came up and said, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. They said, you got a light? They want to know, do I have a light? I said, I don't have a light. They said, you're from the States. I said, how you know I'm from the States? They said, we can tell. I said, you ever been to the United States? And the 2 girls said, oh, no, we would never go there. People get shot all the time. I said, okay. They were terrified of the United States. You know, they figure they're going to be gunfights in the street. Well, yeah, they do have that. All right, never mind. Can you go to Cuba as an American? Yes and no. You have to go on a special educational tour. But I smoked a cigar yesterday from Cuba. It said Republic of Cuba, Cuban Delights. So we're starting to get some Cuban stuff, you know. I can't really go to Cuba. If I did go to Cuba, I mean, I could go, but I would be investigated when I came back. You know what I mean? Like, I would probably have to fill out forms, and then people would come to where I work. They would come asking questions like, does that guy ever make all kind of like you know what I mean? They would come to where I work and they would say, does he ever like make big statements about politics or cause controversy over here? It would be that kind of thing. If so, Cayo Largo Island off of Cuba is a nice. Haven't been there. I've never been to Cuba. I've been 90 miles from Cuba. I can see Tijuana from my house on a clear day, says Claude Diamond. Really? I've never been to Tijuana, but I've been to Tecate. I've been to Baja California del Norte, but only to Tijuana. I mean, Tecate. Some people have their opinion, but not all Canadians are like that. My family is from the U.S., so I know it's very similar. You mean what opinion? What opinion are you talking about? Oh, regarding shooting in the streets. Yeah, I'm just telling you what the two girls told me. They were like, "Oh no." I say girls, they're like 21 years old, 20. They were like, "Oh no, we would never go to the States. It's so dangerous. They're shooting all the time." Okay, that's enough. We've gone long enough. So that's it. See y'all tomorrow morning. I got to go to bed so I can wake up and do another whiskey taste challenge. All right, bye-bye, everybody.